In just one season, Caitlin Clark has redefined what it means to be a rookie in the WNBA. While the MVP title went to A'ja Wilson and the finals victory to the New York Liberty, it's Clark who continues to make headlines. This time, it's not for her on-court heroics but for dominating the WNBA collectibles market, outselling stars like Wilson and Sabrina Ionescu by a wide margin. During the Golden December Elite auction, Clark's trading cards shattered records, accounting for a jaw-dropping $216,672 of the $219,906 total in WNBA card sales. For comparison, Wilson's top card sold for $915, and Ionescu's fetched $2,319. The Fever Guard's performance left both competitors in the dust, highlighting her unmatched star power. Clark's rookie year with the Indiana Fever has been a whirlwind, with accolades from Time and the Associated Press further solidifying her status as a cultural icon. She's not just winning games, she's transforming how the WNBA is perceived and consumed. As women's sports gain traction globally, Caitlin Clark stands at the forefront of this movement. Her ability to inspire fans, both young and old, has created a ripple effect, boosting interest in collectibles, merchandise, and the WNBA itself. With her cards setting records and her influence growing, Clark isn't just leading the league, she's reshaping it. How high can she go? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the Caitlin Clark effect is here to stay. Indiana Fever fans have been biding their time ever since the 2024 WNBA regular season ended. Thankfully for them, there are a lot of memories and games from the 2024 campaign to look back upon fondly. This is largely owed to the on-court connection that consecutive #1 overall picks of the 2023 and 2024 WNBA drafts Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark built with each other, which propelled the Fever to their first WNBA playoff appearance since 2016. These two young players solidified themselves as franchise cornerstones and have made the Fever turn into a formidable force heading toward the 2025 campaign. And what's perhaps scariest for opposing teams and fan bases is that because both Clark and Boston are still so young, they're only going to get better as their careers progress. And off-season training footage the Fever have posted of both players shows that their improvements are already well underway. Heartwarming moments on social media have a way of bringing joy to millions, and this week's viral sensation comes courtesy of Caitlin Clark's Granny superfan. A video capturing an unforgettable gift reveal is melting hearts across the internet. In the clip, shared on Instagram by Indianapolis native Taylor Massey, a grandmother is gifted a box containing an Indiana Fever jersey bearing Clark's name. Her emotional reaction screaming Caitlin Clark with unbridled excitement set the tone for what would become an even bigger surprise. After marveling at the jersey, her family urged her to check inside the box again. This time, she discovered tickets to see Clark and the Fever in an upcoming preseason game. Overwhelmed, the granny exclaimed, "I'm going to the game. I'm shaking." Her genuine joy, captured in the video, resonated deeply with fans. The video quickly went viral, catching Caitlin Clark's attention. The Fever star responded with a wholesome 3-word comment, "Let's go Grams." The interaction, shared by Overtime's Instagram account, further amplified the video's reach. With over 40,000 likes and counting, the post became a celebration of connection between fans and players. The official Indiana Fever Instagram account joined the fun, sharing the video on their story and fueling the heartwarming buzz. Caitlin Clark, no stranger to creating moments of joy, is coming off a remarkable 2024 season that earned her the AP Female Athlete of the Year award. She joined the ranks of legends like Cheryl Swoops and Candace Parker, becoming the 4th women's basketball player to receive the honor. Her impact on and off the court continues to elevate women's basketball to new heights. After a rocky start to her WNBA career, Clark found her groove, setting a single-game assist record with 19 and becoming the fastest player to reach 100 three-pointers in just 34 games. Her leadership helped guide the Indiana Fever to the playoffs for the first time since 2016, solidifying her status as a transformative figure in the sport. There's no question that the Indiana Fever blossomed into becoming the WNBA's most popular basketball team during the 2024 regular season. This is shown by the attendance records that they set during both home and road games, ticket prices, merchandise sales, and just about any other metric that can be used to assess a team's acclaim. Former Iowa Hawkeyes sensation Caitlin Clark, who is already arguably the biggest star in women's basketball history despite being 22 years old and having played one season of professional basketball, is the driving reason for Indiana's popularity. And in a December 23 article, Tom Friend of the Sports Business Journal conveyed that the WNBA is already trying to leverage Clark and the Fever's popularity toward a global audience. The WNBA is not oblivious to Clark's stardom and, according to sources, eventually will schedule a Fever game overseas to capitalize on her Q rating, Friend wrote. While the WNBA has played games outside of the United States before, the 2023 and 2024 WNBA Canada games were held in Toronto and Edmonton. The Atlanta Dream played a preseason game against the Great Britain women's national team in Manchester, England in 2011, and another WNBA preseason game was played in Monterrey, Mexico in 2004. Clark and the Fever playing overseas would surely attract much more attention than any previous international contests. The Dream and Seattle Storm are slated to play a third WNBA Canada game, the first regular season game outside the U.S., on August 15, 2025. It will be fascinating to see which country the WNBA decides to bring the Fever to if, and when, this reported overseas game actually takes place. When mulling over her decision to join the Indiana Fever, Stephanie White took into consideration what her life would look like both on and off the court. Back in October, the Sun parted ways with White after she commanded Connecticut to a combined 55-25 record in back-to-back playoff semifinal berths. Several days later, the 47-year-old was named the newest head coach of the Fever, where she spent a considerable amount of time as a player and coach. After spending her rookie season with the Charlotte Sting, who selected the Purdue product with the number 21 overall pick in the 1999 WNBA draft, White was acquired by the Fever in their inaugural season. She went on to spend the next 4 seasons in Indiana from 2000 to 2004 and actively ranks within the franchise's top 20 rankings in games played, 112, assists, 225, steals, 115, and three-pointers, 92. Several years later, White returned to Indiana as an assistant coach, helping lead the Fever to its first WNBA championship in 2012. She'd eventually assume head coaching duties, spending 2 seasons in the role before leaving for Vanderbilt in 2016. "This is just a really, really special place, special franchise," White said last month. "It's been a part of my DNA from day one, and will always continue to be a part of my DNA." And Fever announcer Pat Boylan would ask me, every time I come back, "What's it feel like, when you come back in this building?" And every time I said, "It feels like home." Given the demanding nature of her job, White conceded that being away from Indiana, particularly during her coaching tenure in Connecticut, was a difficult challenge for her family. The 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year was forced to spend a considerable amount of time away from her partner, ESPN sideline host Lisa Salters, and their 4 teenage boys while with the Sun. Being out in Connecticut every year, I would sit down with my kids and my family, even before I took the job, when I was interviewing for other jobs, and just say, "Hey, are we on board with this?" White said. "Each fall, it has been really difficult, because I did not see my children a lot from the time they go back to school in August until I get home in October." When searching for her next job in the WNBA, White ultimately felt as though Indiana was the perfect landing spot. The Fever's team facility is just a drive away from her hometown of West Lebanon as well as Nashville, where her kids actively attend school. "For those of us who have children, you don't get these years back, right?" she said. "You don't get this time back. And my family sacrificed a lot of time with my children, and for them to now be able to have them around more often, for me to be closer to home, it was really important." There's always a time in your life where you feel like everything needs to be grounded, everything needs to be centered, so that you can be where your feet are. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever starlet and WNBA Rookie of the Year award winner, has spoken about her experience with the surge in fan attention following her record-breaking debut year. The young athlete first caught national attention during her college career, but her fame skyrocketed after she was named an All-Star and voted into the All-WNBA first team during her first year in the league. Adding to her accolades, Clark was recently named AP Female Athlete of the Year, beating out Olympic superstar Simone Biles for the prestigious award. This comes on the heels of being named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. The 22-year-old's rising profile means she is frequently recognized by fans, but she revealed that she enjoys these interactions, often taking time to sign autographs and pose for photos before and after games. "For me, it's still really fun," she told AP News. "Whether it's 15 seconds or 10 seconds or 5 seconds can be very impactful in a young girl and young boy's life. Seeing the fans going crazy an hour before tip-off, I never take that for granted. That's super cool and I never want that to go away." The spotlight on WNBA star Clark has not been without its challenges, as she faced intense scrutiny and pressure during her college career and first season in the league. Reflecting on her path, Clark expressed gratitude for her support system. "I'm thankful for the people I got to do it with," she said. "A year ago I was still in the early part of my senior year in college, how fast things change, and now I can see how great a college season it was." After receiving the AP award, Clark became only the fourth woman in professional basketball to earn the honor since 1931, joining icons like Cheryl Swoops, Rebecca Lobo, and Candace Parker. Having officially joined the elusive club, the Fever Guard shared her admiration for her predecessors, especially Parker. "I grew up a fan of Candace Parker and the people who came before me, and to be honored in this way is super special, and I'm thankful. It was a great year for women's basketball and women's sports," she said. ESPN analyst and former recipient Lobo praised Clark for elevating the profile of women's basketball and sports. "She's brought unprecedented attention both in the building, but also viewership to the sport that was worthy of it but didn't have it yet," Lobo remarked. "There's never been anything like this. That time frame from 1995-97 was a baby step in the progression of it all. This is a giant leap forward. I've never seen anything like this. There's more attention than the sport's ever had." Former Iowa Hawkeye superstar and current Indiana Fever point guard Caitlin Clark has added another accolade to her resume. On Monday, the Sporting News named Clark its 2024 Female Athlete of the Year. In the announcement, Sporting News said Clark has made a larger-than-life impact on the college, high school and youth basketball levels and will certainly continue as her WNBA career unfolds. Clark shared the Sporting News Athlete of the Year honor in 2023 with LSU's Angel Reese, and this year, she is the first female Athlete of the Year in the history of the publication. In Monday's announcement, Sporting News wrote, "The Caitlin Clark effect didn't put women's sports on the map. Instead, it ensured women's sports will continue to prosper. And if you're looking for proof, all you need to do is look beyond the bright lights of college basketball and the WNBA. It is the story of who has next, the high schoolers and middle schoolers, that will be the measure of how much Clark really means to the sport."